these guys are 1.5 times more brutal than those earlier ones. Get ready now, guys. You're only one step away from receiving your pardons.
Do as you wish. However, those are innocent prisoners who were put in Hades by the corruptiment, right? How is it fair to use them by bribing them with pardons? Can you live with yourself?
They're not innocent. They were convicted by the corruptiment. They're nothing but criminals.
What did you say? We're innocent.
We were just being demons. The corruptiment just came up with some bullshit excuse and imprisoned us.
Then consider what you're doing. You're dealing with the corruptiment, who turned you into criminals in the first place. Don't you think it's foolish to trust them to keep their promise?
That's...
What do you say? Shall we join forces?
Join forces?
Realizing the current state of our rotten corruptiment, my lord here has stepped up to take over the regime.
Take over the regime? He's planning to defeat my father and take over the corruptiment? You are?
I am?
Why do you sound so surprised? Didn't you know all about this?
Of course he wasn't aware of this. I decided this for him at my own discretion. My lord proclaimed that he would beat the president and the corruptiment into shape, so I came up with my own plan of action. What my lord must do, I must also do. What I must do, my lord must also do. In other words, we are as one. That being said, there's no problem with me making any of his decisions for him.
Indeed, as expected of you, Fenric. It's quite considerate of you to come up with such an ambitious agenda for us.
All is for my lord.
So, what kind of relationship do you two have again? It's starting to seem pretty creepy.
So, what do you say, prisoners? When we usurp this regime, you shall all be granted ranks and positions suitable to your service.
Usurping the regime? Who'd believe in such dreamy nonsense?
Whoa, hey now, this is my dream, mine, where I become the president of the Netherworld.
Enough of this! My father would never be defeated by you peons!
He's right. How could a lowly Brinny instructor possibly defeat the president?
Do you think you'll ever get what you want by giving up so easily? You see, this is why you're all nothing but side characters.
So what? Why don't you show us what you've got then?
Yeah, that's right. We'll decide whether we want to join you after that.
As you wish. I'll show you what I've got. The power of sardines!
Aside from that, please just prove to them that you have enough power to usurp the regime.
Let's see. You've been debating with getting Disgaea, and I was wondering if I should start with 1 in order to know what's going on. Nope, do not. So...
I'll show you sardine power.
In general, my recommendation with Disgaea is either pick up 4 or 5, depending on what you're looking for, and then maybe not stop there, but 4 and 5 so far seem by and far the best of the Disgaea series. Disgaea 1 is well written, but it's old, and it has a lot of mechanics that have not aged well. Specifically, it's like hard to level up healers, there's less convenient grind elements, and just a couple other things that slow it down.
Watch this!
Doesn't make it bad, just makes it slower. As far as knowing what's going on, all of the plots are completely separate from each other, Final Fantasy style. And so the only thing that you would actually really be missing out on would be cameos, which honestly, you kind of pick up on anyway. So specifically, most of the DLC for the Disgaea games are just tie-ins with other Nippon Ichi software products. Usually, it's Disgaea games, but they've had a couple of other characters from previous products as well. But so, like, I know for Disgaea 5, I got to the DLC, which is just bonus missions for all of the different characters you play as. In this one, and all the previous games, plus a couple of other characters. And I didn't feel lost in the slightest. All the characters were presented in a sensible and understandable way. You're introduced to them maybe a little bit too quickly. Like, it would have been nice to learn more about them in a longer session, but like, whatever. That's small beans. Let's see. But so, like, okay, sure, you won't know who Laharl is, but you also probably wouldn't know who Metalia is, because she's from a completely different Nippon Ichi software product. And, like, it would just take far too long for you to sit down and... Yeesh. I could do without that animation, honestly. I don't know if there's a way to turn it off. My mage is going to get wrecked. I think he's already dead. Yep, he is. Boy, it takes a while. Let's see. So you'd have to play an insane amount of games to truly know what's going on. Quick lowdown for the series is actually really easy to do, because effectively each, like I said, is in a self-connected and independent manner. There are many different netherworlds, which is kind of this equivalent, this universe's equivalent of hell. And each one kind of has its own, like, I'm gonna say theme. Disgaea 1's underworld, or netherworld, is probably the most, like, basic, which is just kind of, like, vague evil. But, like, not evil, just, I don't know. Just a parody on being evil? And they really get into that topic a little bit. Whereas, like, I know nothing about Disgaea 3. I honestly don't remember too much of the plot for Disgaea 2, which I'm kind of embarrassed to say. But then again, I played that all on a long time ago. There's like Disgaea 1 and 2 I've just haven't played in a long time. Let's see. Whereas Disgaea 5, it actually gets into kind of the multiverse theory of like, hey, by the way, there's a ton of these different netherworlds, and each is kind of different. Yeah, parody of the typical hell and heaven conflict. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Though, honestly, that specific conflict plays out in every single game, including this one. We've already seen one angel so far, and she seems to be doing something, which is probably going to be quite silly. A Bombat Stick is no good. Transaxe? No, can't do Transaxe. Head Splitter? Actually, accuracy is pretty bad. It'll hit. It won't do much damage. I'm just gonna get her out here and hit the other one. That's slightly better. To be fair, the multiverse started all the way back in Disgaea 2. That's a good point. I forgot about that.
I got this.
Like I said, Disgaea 2 is actually the Disgaea game that I remember the least. I think mainly because the post-game was actually still fairly massive story section, and I think I just stopped before I got to the post-game. I will say as a cautionary tale for any Disgaea game, they're very time-consuming. And so if you don't have the time for it, you might want to try a shorter JRPG. Personally, I'd still recommend it, just because they're super good. But you're going to spend a lot of time grinding, especially if you want to get into the good stuff.
There.
Let's see, she should be able to just kill this guy, yeah? Yeah. But as far as, like, substantive tactical JRPGs, they're pretty good. They're also very deep. There's a lot of systems and subsystems to play around with. Mentioned picking up 4 or 5, depending on what I was looking for. Is there any major differences between the two other than, obviously, plot? Plot and characters kind of are the main driving differences between most Disgaea games. I would say Disgaea 4 so far has been more humorous and lighthearted. Disgaea 5, I'm gonna say is edgy, but the characters were a little bit more immediately interesting. And I think that's probably incorrect, and I will be proven quite wrong as I go along, and these characters will get a lot more interesting. Like, I remember in Disgaea 1, the main character is just like this kind of edgy jerk, and then the secondary character, for a while, is just this I'm gonna say bumbling female stereotype, and it takes a long time for either of them to get more interesting. But the two supporting characters, 3 of the supporting characters you end up picking up rather quickly really carry the show, so I didn't mind as much. This one seems to be really dumping all of the supporting characters down really fast, and it's got a much larger cast. Because we've already got Valvatorez, the main character, we've got Fenric, the slave slash, like... he's effectively an overstepping assistant slash bodyguard, and he's pretty fun. Fuka, the Kid Death, Axel. I feel like I'm missing 1 or 2 more. Oh, and the Angel Girl. And I know of at least like 4 more different characters, I think, that show up over the course of this game too. So this one's got a bigger cast, a lot bigger of a cast. Appoint financial ministers unlocked. Cool.
No way! Even though our powers are being restrained, we're still former overlords.
The one thing I will say, though, to finish my thought before I move on, Disgaea 5 does have the most refined mechanics of the series and is therefore probably the most approachable. This one is probably the densest because you actually have to, like, mess around with buildings and stuff. And it seems a little less convenient than the previous games. So it's kind of a trade-off of gameplay versus easier to get into story. I don't know. Honestly, I'd say both are pretty good. Both are available on the Switch. Disgaea 5 is on PC. This is not. I think they're all available on the PS4. Except for Disgaea 3. Maybe 2. I don't know if they've done anything with 2. And then if you're looking for something a little bit more lighthearted or bittersweet, there's also Phantom Brave. But that one has only aged alright. Still damn good, and that's the one that will probably remain at the top of my list. But it's an old game, and it's definitely not, like, their best work. It just, I don't know, stands out to me. It was also, like, my first Nippon-Ichi software game. So, I don't know. Lots of reasons. Anyway.
How could a mere pretty instructor possess so much power?
Don't be so surprised. Who do you think the man who stands before you is? Being a Prinny instructor was just a disguise. He is Lord Valvatorez, formerly known as the Tyrant who enthralled all humanity within the depths of fear.
Tyrant Valvatorez, the bloodthirsty king of fear.
You mean the blood-soaked Valvatorez of absolute evil? The king of carnage and atrocity?
I'd almost forgotten about all those old aliases. Those are cute.
Huh? I didn't know you were so famous around here. Hey, wait a second. Don't try to steal the spotlight in my dream.
Tyrant Valvatorez? I thought he was just a printing instructor. I can't believe it. I never would have imagined my childhood hero had become a printing instructor.
I heard he went missing after he lost all his power. I didn't know he was still around. Usurping the regime. He might actually be able to pull it off.
Wait, there's still no proof that he's the real Valvatorez. I mean, sure, he showed us his power, but...
This is bad. Nobody told me he was such a big fish. He didn't put that on his resume when he was applying for the pretty instructor position. He's a fraud. What are you gonna do, Warden Axel? Should you go along with him, or should you keep sucking up to the corruptiment?
Hey, we can hear you, you know.
Warden Axel, are you gonna betray me?
Please, young master, you're just hearing things. We made a vow to each other as comrades. Why would I ever betray you? To prove it, I've got one last ace up my sleeve in case of an emergency. Right this way, young master.
Wait! I hope he's not thinking about releasing the seal of the Forbidden Chamber!
The Forbidden Chamber? He better not! If he releases that monster, this place, no! The entire Netherworld will be destroyed!
Well, they scattered like birds. I've heard about the occupant of the Forbidden Chamber, but how bad can it be?
It must be pretty bad if all those brutal criminals are scared of it. I'm kinda excited!
No monster or beast can stop me. Since I seem to have a new goal, total regime usurpation!
I like how Valvatorez is just absolutely just down with everything. He's like, I'm down for instructing Prinnies, and this is what I'm going to commit myself to. Valvatorez, I've signed you up for world domination. World domination it is! Like, no question. I love it. The man, I mean, I guess that's the point. He is just like, let's see. Special physical attack damage increased by 15%. I might as well. It's gonna be a little while before I refresh any of these characters anyway. What does she have? Revenge Throw. Triple damage caused by a Prinny explosion. Man, I really wish she specifically had bow proficiency. Because then she could just, like, have a buddy Prinny, or a whole pile of them. I'm not entirely sure. He just doesn't care about anything but doing the best at whatever he's doing, and has the power to do so. Yeah, it's true. And he does have the power to do so. Like, he really can just chuck himself at anything and more or less win. Okay, so let's look at this. Simple, knockdown. Oh, recovery and attack +1. But where? That? Yep. Oh, I see. Anybody on the barrel. Let's see. And the blocks are way up here. I don't really see myself being able to biff those, so I guess we're just going to deal with it.
Here I come! Here I come!
At least Fuka's somewhat functional.
I shall re-educate
All of the enemies I'm dealing with. Yeah, 22. I plonk him right there. We can Hurricane Slash. No, I can't. Dang.
Here I come!
So do I have Fenric do anything differently? Nah. Fenric's good enough without Sardine Thief. I mean, technically, Valvatorez, Oink is kind of wasted on Valvatorez. I just don't feel like using any of the non-plot related characters. Let's see, do I want to do Transax? Nah. It does a hell of a lot more damage, though. Alright, Transax it is. I'm just pretty sure Sardine Thief is not going to have that ability for the rest of forever, so I don't know. This is good enough. I could just wait for her to lose her bow. But where's the fun in that? So target height problem. Yeah, that's an issue. Is there a way to hit the barrel? I don't actually know if there is. Well, we have a couple of options. Equipment, Temptress. Let's switch this out. We got steel bow. Ugh. Composite bow. Still, ugh. Oh, I can hit them. That was a cool looking bow. Yeah, if they're not gonna let me, oops. If they're not gonna let me get up there and fight them, I guess I'll just have to shoot them. I could have attacked from the other side of the chain, maybe? No, I wouldn't have been able to. Good luck, trio of bruisers. I believe in you. Let's see, now if I'm not mistaken, no? I'm not entirely sure. Can I check? Thief skills, success rate doubled when stealing. No, I guess they just have a really high dodge chance. Or maybe it's just my accuracy is bad. It's probably the latter. Ow. On the plus side, never mind, he's dead. This looks like it might be a bit of an issue. Because, yeah, if Fenric went down, this is going to be tough. I might not make this one. Well, good luck, Valvatorez. You're just going to solo this whole thing. Because I'm pretty sure Fuka's not up to the task. We'll see what she can do anyway, though.
Wanna get cracked?
I guess she's doing okay. That extra defense probably makes a fair difference. So I wonder if the invincible blocks are in this version. Oh, they are. I've already dealt with a couple of invincible blocks. And they suck. They don't suck as bad as they could, but they suck. Oh, I wonder if I can use this with Bombat Stick. Maybe. Head Splitter's not going to reach. Transax most assuredly won't. Might lose Fuka here, but so be it. I can always move her back to the red space. Assuming she survives, and he can't move. Yeah, I might give this one. We are definitely due for a grinding session. I've more or less floated through... How much Disgaea without grinding? 2 hours? Only 2 hours? Okay, so only 2 hours isn't that big. But still, can I target height problem? Flying VX, still target height problem. Okay.
Yeah!
Well, I can hit that one, at the very least. It should wreck their blocks. Really, this does mean I don't get any... Let's see. So I'm just gonna move her over here. Good luck, Valvatorez. We might be able to lift the barrels at the very least. Ow. Let's see. Halo Prince? Does hit her. Okay, he's got this. Slowly. And note to self, get somebody with competent ranged attacks. Because otherwise this is going to be a very long playthrough. A good mage character would probably be best. She died perfect. Because I know Christo was acceptable last time. Usalia was my go-to caster. I don't exactly remember why. The weird part was, like, they presented her in a melee set fashion. And I think for whatever reason, I actually was supposed to use her for melee. Let's try going there. I don't know if I can hit from here, though. Nope, can't hit with Impaler Prince. Oh, that'll get it. Target height problem, my butt. I can make anything work. I just have to finagle. I'm good at finagling. Let's see. Why are you streaming late? Yeah, this is usually pretty close to when I end. Today's, I'm gonna say, not a bit of an exception. I just wanted to play JRPGs for a while. But I've been staying away from them, at least for a little bit. And today's, I don't know, a good day to sit down and play a bunch. Plus, I just like the Disgaea series. They're good games. Wow, I have a lot of money. I should probably spend it on frivolous things. Like, none of this. This is bad stuff. I got better stuff than this. The bucklers are nice, but losing the speed's kind of annoying. There's a trench coat. Let's buy the trench coat. Better than the hunting cap? Better than the hunting cap. Way better than the Jijo outfit, though. Let's see. What do we do? And the main problem is, I just don't have a good archer to work with. And I mean, I could just give somebody a bow anyway. So why don't we actually do that? Let's just buy a damn good bow. And then just chuck it in the bin. That's not a damn good bow. That's not even remotely close. Neither of these are. Alright, whatever. I guess... Right, we can just reset the shop constantly. Wing bow looks dang good. Cool. Then I got a spare bow lying around if I need to worry about it. Which, now that we've done that level, we probably won't have to use it ever again. Which is a bit bleak. Holy crap, have I been playing this?
A mere Prinny instructor must fulfill a certain requirement in order to access the Forbidden Chamber.
Stricter security, huh? There must be one hell of a demon in there. So, what would that requirement be?
You must be equipped with an item that is level 10 or higher. You will have to go to the item world in order to improve an item to such a level. The item world of a higher ranked item will be filled with stronger enemies. Compared to your power level when you used to be a tyrant, the item world of a common sword should be the most suitable for you.
Say as you wish. Fine! To the item world of a common sword.
Lord Val, here are some unpretentious gifts from myself to you.
Okay, I already know how to do these things. I've already done this, and I'm pretty sure Valvatorez has a level 17 Imperial Seal. We may now access the Forbidden Chamber thanks to a level 10 item. It can now be accessed at any time, even without a level 10 item. Shall we get going now? I can't believe how securely this place is locked up. Can't wait to see what's in there. Enter the final weapon. Oh, I forgot to heal people, didn't I?